Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about exposing women's true nature. But first, I want to mention that one of my recent videos was featured on a news site. This is my video, What is MGTOW? A Brief Introduction, where I attempted to give a brief introduction to MGTOW in about 2 minutes. Turned out, need a little bit more time than that. It's a little bit too ambitious. But it's a brief summary, and I believe that other people can find it useful. So go ahead and check that out. I'll point to it in the description below. Now, let's talk about how feminism and modern-day liberalism has exposed female nature, because that's what we're looking at. You want an explanation for the decline in marriage rates, in the decline of population rates. Well, with the increased rights and political voice of women expressing their utter hatred and contempt and willingness to destroy men and their own civilization, well, there you go. The bloom is off the rose. The mask is off. Her true face, her true nature has been exposed. When resources are scarce, when times are difficult, women place great value in men, right? They won't survive without men. But once you build a modern civilization and you create all of the institutions and all of the laws and support structures to go along with it, the women want the positions, the authority, the responsibility, or rather the authority of the men, but without the responsibility, without having earned it, without having built the structures. And the weak men, of course, give it to them, and it creates this downward spiral. Now, I've spoken about this before, how the man's desire for the woman, his instincts to protect and to serve the female, and this is true, this is true throughout all of nature, but in human society, this instinct, this tendency has been exploited. It's been perverted. It's been twisted. And it's actually a horrible weakness in the male, and especially in the male that is born and raised in a civilized society and conditioned towards pair bonding, which is, a long-term mating strategy. The idea of, taking care of your children. This tendency, this instinct, this genetic quality, which you can breed in to the males, certainly into the men, what really allows you to grow a technological society is being exploited as a weakness in the male psyche. And, it's the desire to please women, to get together with women, and then to be seen as a decent, good man within the group so that the man can move forward within society. It's that desire. It's that tendency to cooperate with a group. If you were dealing with foxes, you would definitely call it the tame gene, the ones that are tame, that want to get along with people. If you were breeding dogs, that's exactly what you would say. That's exactly what you would call it. So the men that have this tendency are being exploited. And this is most of the men in Western civilization that don't want to break the law, that just want to build a good life for themselves. This is the tendency. And it's mirrored throughout all of the various branches within our society, throughout government, throughout media, throughout religion, throughout the educational system, social situations. And it is, this desire to please women and get together with the women. So the women have this great power and authority within Western civilization, and they can play the victim too, which is like, this is the real clarion call. This is the real, this is the true bell ringing, right? Where the woman claims that, she's a victim. And the whole society and the whole civilization and everybody around her just stops what they're doing and says, we have to pay attention to Betty Sue here because she might start to cry. So, she can shut down everything. And not only can she shut it down, but she could go to, the powerful men within this situation. And chances are, if she's very attractive and they're regular men, chances are she would be able to control them as well. So it's very interesting, that given this opportunity, that this is how women act, and you can see the result within our civilization. Now, what it is that enabled this to take place, that's a deeper video. It really is. And, I talk about a lot about Nietzsche and his appraisal of a slave class and a master class. And this is not about slavery, oddly, but rather about the ideals that build a civilization, master morality, and the ideals that create a dependent class within a very productive society, slave morality, which is more based on sympathy and compassion and you have to take care of me and things like that. But before I get into that, let me just ask everybody, if you haven't already, please go ahead, click the subscribe button, click the bell symbol next to it, and accept the email notifications. It'll help me grow my channel, and I'd really appreciate it. Because here's the thing, YouTube is definitely messing with MGTOW channels. Lately, I've lost all notifications in my comment section. And I'm having trouble with my whole subscriber situation. And the comments are still there. It's just that no notifications. There's been a lot of things going on with trying to limit particular types of voices. I haven't really even been able to talk about it as much as I would like because I'll get in trouble for speaking the truth about the situation. Needless to say, please support my channel. Please click the thumbs up, like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. Please support other MGTOW channels as well. I think it's very important to the well-being of men and the future. Now let's get back into Nietzsche and the situation. This is another aspect of the situation. You combine that with female nature, and then you bring in cultural Marxism, which is this moral, ethical attack on the values of Western civilization. And it really is. And it's not like, well, it's an attack on the bad values of Western civilization. No, it's an attack on all of them. And it's like, well, it's an attack because Western civilization deserves it. No. It attacks Western civilization because Western civilization is in a position to be attacked. It is the established hierarchy. It is the patriarchy. It's like, oh my God, that has evil connotations. No, it has no more evil connotations than a strong protective father has evil connotations. So it is the destruction and the hatred and the contempt and the wanting to bring down the very masculine values upon which Western civilization are based. And the means by which this has been taking place is through identity politics, is through, victim groups of people. If you can't get the working class to turn on the ruling class, then you get smaller identity groups, subgroups, minorities, gay people, women. These smaller groups, you pit them against the larger group. And you say that it is the larger group's values that are holding you down, and our entire function is merely to tear down the larger group. So, whatever tactics they want to employ are completely justified. And the people who are involved in it, they believe that they're fighting for important social causes and important social issues. They're not. The larger structure of cultural Marxism is to simply tear down the existing power structure. And not even necessarily to replace it. I mean, it's quite contemptible. It really is. And I'll be doing another video on that, on exclusively that. It's these combination of things that have exposed female nature and the weakness in male nature to fall into this trap of codependency with the toxic female, whose main interest is merely in, ripping down a civilization and a society. And not like she's even aware of it, just because she's upset, she's angry, her feelings have been hurt, things are not perfect for her. So it's not even like building anything, it's just like tearing down. It's a lot easier to throw a monkey wrench into, a system than it is to build a whole system and to maintain a whole system. And it's very empowering. It's kind of like you have control of that larger system, but you really don't. You just have the ability to shut it down. It's like a child breaking down a bigger system and pitching a fit and demanding attention and resources to not break down the system. So that, that's part of what we're experiencing. And it's related also to the man's weakness, his desire to get together with the women, to please the women, the society's desire and nature to, want to please the women and take care of the women, with women and children first. And I'm sure there's even more involved, and I'm going to have to make different videos on the various different aspects of it. But let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. And join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.